Alright guys, so probably the first video I've made in months anyway. Um, so basically what we're looking at is a weekly chart of the DAX. Alright, so these are all weekly bars, and I've said this a million times about how to establish your trends for a weekly, monthly, even a daily basis using daily charts and so on. So first of all, I'm going to skip up to a one chart. We'll start from the top and work down and what it's actually doing. So somebody asked me on Twitter if it's feeding off a monthly supply. It's not really feeding off a monthly supply. How we distinguish supplies from resistance points and supports from demands from support points. Alright, so basically this isn't a supply point, this is an old resistance point. This is when market came up, formed a resistance, consolidated, and then it found selling pressure in the market, okay? This is not how we establish supply in the market. This was a supply point that's been cleared. This is a resistance point. So we're not actually feeding off of this on the monthly chart because we haven't had extreme movements away. What we had was a move up and then profit taking in the market here. So this move up here was profit taking on this red bar. Okay, if this was selling pressure in the market, we would have continued to fall in multiple bars, but what we had was profit taking here and then a pause before traders decided what it was they wanted to do. We had a consolidation phase here, okay, after the initial profit taking. So profit taking, consolidation, and then the market then decides to sell off over here. Okay, and this was a supply point, so when price came back up to revisit this point, that's when we found selling pressure in the market here on the monthly chart. Okay, so this is just a resistance point. Again, resistance isn't supply, demand isn't support. All right, so price comes up, finds a bit of resistance, profit taking comes into the market, market consolidates, then it decides to sell off, forming a supply point. Market then comes back up, tests the supply, and it sells off. Okay, so this current price action, well, it's testing over here. There will be sell orders obviously over here, but there won't be any huge quantities. Okay, so you're not looking to sell this monthly area here because it's not a supply, it's just a resistance area. If you skip down to our weekly chart, for instance, bring all of that data in. Okay, you can see this is just a consolidation area. This is the point that I was mentioning on the monthly chart. This is a weekly chart now. This is just a consolidation area, so just a resistance area, not a supply area on the market. Okay. This point here is when we had supply in the market. This is when we've got two or more multiple bars pushing away, large bars. This is where we found supply. Okay, so supply was formed here, and we came up and we ate into that supply, and then we sold off. All right, but this is just congestion in the market after initial profit taking. Remember, this move up here and this is the profit taking. This big bar is the profit taking. It's not supply, it's just people closing out long positions, not going short in the market. If they were going short in the market up here, we would have seen multiple selling bars like this here. Okay, we don't have that, we just see profit taking and then consolidation after they're finished profit taking. There's no value to buy here, so after the consolidation period, that's when we see selling pressure coming into the market. Alright, so you're definitely not looking to sell this congestion area over here because it's not supply. But what we have tested recently is a demand point. So what we're feeding off of the market is weekly demand. Alright. And this is, if I can try and get this into view, this is when we had huge momentum in the market and then continued buying, but the buying died off here. Went through a little consolidation for about a week, and then we found more demand in the market here on this bar here. So this is the point here that we tested. Okay, so if I just actually draw this in, rectangle, this is your demand point here, which we fell into. I should just change that colour. Stands out a little bit better. So that's the demand point there. That's where we had strong demand in the market, continued demand, a pause or a consolidation of recent gains. As you can see here, we never saw profit taking coming into the market on this bar. It was just a consolidation of gains. Alright, so large momentum, buying pressure in the market, consolidation of those recent gains, and then fresh demand coming into the market here on this bar. and then again consolidation again, is looking for value in the market. Price comes back and finds the demand point here, demand zone. Okay, and then we've fed off it, instantly fed off it. You can see the spike here on this weekly candle. So instantly you can see there's buying pressure in the market here from this demand, and then you're looking for it to continue on a week-to-week basis, longer term. Because remember, we're not facing any supply points. We're facing resistance, but we're not facing supply points in the market on the monthly and the weekly chart. Okay, so we're currently feeding off of demand and working our way up through resistance points. On the DAX, if we skip down to a daily chart, again you can see that a little bit more clearer here. So we saw the buying pressure, the 1 week consolidation of gains here, and then the buying pressure here. We've came back down and tested that demand point there. Okay, and then we're feeding off of it. So the only way that you would assume that this market was going to fall further is if it clears demand. If market starts eating its way through demand points, then the trend is changing. If the market is respecting the demand points and feeding off of them, then you've got to assume the trend continues higher, especially when there's no supply points in the market at this moment in time. Okay, so that's just a daily chart of the DAX. Alright, so overall you're looking to buy dips and continue to trade and hold long positions. I'm going to show you the dollar yen because I tweeted this the other day and it's the same thing. It's what we're looking at. I'm just got to do this quickly. So I'll skip up to a monthly chart on the dollar yen. Again, what we saw here was a particular pattern in the market. It's almost like it's basically called a bullish scallop. You can Google it. So basically, it's almost looks like a cup and handle, but it's not quite a cup and handle. It's called a scallop pattern, and you get bullish and bearish. Google it. Okay, so it's when you've just got a rounded bottom basically in the market here, and you break above the congestion area. So we saw selling pressure in the market. We've got supply here actually. So we saw selling pressure in the market here, and then a week's consolidation, and then a continuation here. And it's a week's consolidation that I was interested in because it was a scallop pattern. Okay, so we've got the drop down, the rounded bottom, and then the break above the consolidation area, and then basically I was just looking to get long yesterday and the day before at this 112.69 area. I tweeted this a few times actually. So the scallop pattern breaks above the consolidation area. It's not actually demand, it's just where you expect demand to come into the market. Okay, so scallop break above the consolidation area and we pull back, retest the consolidation area, and then it pushes up, and we're looking for it to get to that supply point up there on the monthly chart, which is about 120.50. So there's plenty of pips and opportunity there. If I skip down to a weekly chart, you can see it a little bit more clearer. The consolidation area here, so the scalp patterns around the bottom, we break above the consolidation area. We came back, tested it, and we found the fresh demand in the area. We were just buying that level anyway. Straight off, it was pretty accurate level to buy off of. I think the drawdown was like 20 pips or something like that. So it was a pretty good trade. If we skip down to a daily chart, again you can see the bullish engulfing candle here that we kicked off of yesterday. So just looking for that to continue up over the next few weeks, possibly the month as well, to head up towards that supply point on this little candle here. So that's a supply. It's around about that 120-ish area is where you'd be looking to take profit, pretty much where my arrow's pointing to. Okay.